Welcome back to the Coin Riches channel. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary, a simple Roosevelt dime, the kind you might find in your pocket, loose change jumbled with quarters and nickels. But as your fingers trace its smooth edges and familiar design, you start to wonder, could this humble little coin hold a secret? Could something so small, so unassuming, carry a story that stretches across decades and holds unimaginable value? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of a coin that many overlooked for years, the 1966 Roosevelt One Dime with no mint mark. And by the end of our journey, you'll see why collectors are paying astonishing sums, up to $90,000, for what most people once dismissed as mere pocket change. 1966 was a year of change, not just in America, but in the way coins were made. The country was in the midst of a cultural and political shift. The Vietnam War was escalating, the civil rights movement was demanding attention, and music, fashion, and art were reshaping everyday life. In the midst of all this, a small but significant change occurred in coin production. The U.S. Mint decided to produce coins using a different silver composition. Before 1965, dimes contained 90% silver. But in 1965, to combat a silver shortage, the Mint removed silver from most circulating coins, creating what collectors refer to as clad coins, layers of copper sandwiched with nickel. By 1966, every dime produced was clad. But here's where the story gets intriguing. Among the millions of dimes minted in 1966, a few rare pieces were struck without a mint mark. Normally, coins from Denver carry a D mint mark, while coins from Philadelphia carried none. But in 1966, Philadelphia coins were officially supposed to be minted without a mark, so what makes these particular dimes stand out? The distinction lies in subtle variations and anomalies in the strike, the metal composition, and the way these coins survived the decades. For most people, a 1966 dime was just a dime, worth 10 cents. But for collectors who know where to look, these coins are anything but ordinary. Let's go back in time for a moment. Picture a small child in 1966, maybe the same age as your own children or grandchildren might have been, eagerly collecting coins in a little cardboard box. They didn't know that one of the dimes they dropped in the box would one day become a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. They simply thought it was change, a dime from their allowance, a coin saved from a Sunday outing. But coins, like memories, can hold stories far greater than their face value. And the 1966 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark is a perfect example of this hidden potential. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular dime so valuable? After all, millions were minted, and at first glance, it seems just like every other dime in circulation. The answer lies in rarity, survival, and condition. You see, while millions of these dimes were made, very few have survived in pristine condition, free of scratches, nicks, or wear from decades of circulation. Coins that have remained untouched, protected in drawers, in coin albums, or hidden in jars, have become increasingly scarce. And in the world of numismatics, scarcity is everything. A coin that survived the chaos of decades, untouched and unblemished, suddenly becomes a rare gem, but rarity alone isn't enough. Collectors also look at historical context. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, just after the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design was meant to honor his legacy, celebrating his role in guiding the nation through the Great Depression and the Second World War. By 1966, the design had been in circulation for 20 years, and millions had passed through countless hands. But hidden among the masses were those exceptional pieces that somehow escaped the wear and tear of everyday use. And it's those coins that can now fetch astonishing prices. Let's pause for a moment and imagine the journey of one of these coins. Minted in Philadelphia, carefully packed and distributed, it slips through the hands of cashiers, sits in a drawer, maybe forgotten in a collection of loose coins. For decades, it remains silent, a silent witness to history. Families grow, children play, news headlines come and go, yet this coin remains intact, perfectly preserved. And then, one day, someone notices it, someone who understands its rarity, its historical significance, its potential. That moment transforms a simple dime into a treasure. That's the magic of coin collecting. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when seen through the lens of history and scarcity. There's also a fascinating psychological element here. Many collectors describe a thrill, a feeling of discovery, when they find a coin that has been overlooked by everyone else. It's a mix of nostalgia and excitement, the kind of emotion you feel when uncovering a forgotten photograph or an old letter from decades ago. With the 1966 Roosevelt Dime, that thrill is magnified by the knowledge that, unlike other collectibles that fade in value over time, coins like these only grow rarer as more are lost, damaged, or discarded. Time itself is on the side of those who manage to preserve these dimes, making their value increase as the decades pass. Another reason this coin has become so sought after is the growing awareness among collectors and investors that not all coins are created equal. While most people see a dime and think, it's 10 cents, experts know that subtle differences in metal composition, strike quality, and minting errors can make one coin worth tens of thousands, while another identical in appearance remains near face value. The 1966 no-mint mark Roosevelt Dime sits in that elite category. Its scarcity, combined with the story of its production and the fact that it has survived in pristine condition, creates a perfect storm of value. It's also worth noting the role of certification. Modern collectors often send their coins to professional grading services, where experts examine each coin for authenticity, strike quality, and condition. A 1966 Roosevelt Dime that has been professionally graded can command far higher prices than one that hasn't. The process ensures buyers that they are investing in a genuine piece of history, free from the uncertainties that often haunt collectible markets. And in the case of the no-mint mark dimes, certification has helped the market recognize the incredible rarity and value that these coins possess. Now, let's take a moment to consider why this coin appeals so strongly to viewers aged 35 to 65 plus. For many in this age group, the 1960s were a formative period. They remember the cultural shifts, the music, the political upheaval, and the everyday objects that surrounded their youth. A coin from 1966 is more than currency, it's a tangible connection to their past. It evokes memories of childhood allowances, of learning to save coins in jars, of the excitement of discovering a shiny new dime in circulation. This emotional resonance adds an extra layer of value, beyond the financial. It's not just about money, it's about history, nostalgia, and personal connection, and that connection is precisely what makes the 1966 Roosevelt Dime so compelling. It's a story of time, survival, and discovery. A coin minted over 50 years ago, once considered ordinary, has emerged as a treasure for those who understand its significance. It's a reminder that history often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize its worth. It challenges our assumptions about value and teaches us that sometimes, the most remarkable things are the ones we take for granted. For those who have been collecting coins for years, discovering a 1966 no-mint mark Roosevelt Dime is akin to finding a lost artifact. The thrill of acquisition is matched only by the satisfaction of knowing you hold something genuinely rare. And even for those who are newer to collecting, the story of this dime provides a roadmap: pay attention, preserve carefully, and never underestimate the value of what might seem ordinary today. Now that we've explored the historical context and emotional resonance of the 1966 Roosevelt Dime, let's dive deeper into what makes certain pieces truly extraordinary. In the world of numismatics, it's not just about the year or the mint mark, it's about condition, provenance, and subtle characteristics that can set one coin apart from millions of others. Some of these dimes have what experts call gem quality surfaces, unblemished, lustrous, and nearly flawless. A coin like this doesn't just represent a decade, it represents perfection preserved over time. Consider, for a moment, the journey these coins could have taken. Many sat unnoticed in drawers or tucked inside albums, overlooked because they were just dimes. Some may have been handed down from grandparents, who never imagined that a small piece of metal could one day be worth more than a house down payment in some parts of the country. These coins survived the simple acts of everyday life, the constant jostling in pockets, the accidental drops, the rubbing against other coins in purses and cash registers. To have emerged from all that unscathed, in brilliant condition, is nothing short of miraculous. collectors and historians alike are fascinated by the subtle variations in these coins. In some cases, the metal may have slight tonal differences, or the strike may show unique details that distinguish it from the mass-produced dimes that circulated freely in the 1960s. Those differences may seem insignificant to the casual observer, but to a seasoned collector, they tell a story about minting processes, about the quality control of the era, and about the survival of a small number of exceptional specimens. Each dime is a historical record, a physical imprint of the United States at a very particular moment in time, but rarity and condition alone don't create the full story. There's also the element of human discovery. Imagine sorting through decades of coins, feeling the edges of each one, examining the subtle details under a magnifying glass. The anticipation builds as you finally spot a coin that stands out from the rest. That moment of discovery is exhilarating, almost addictive, and it's why collectors continue to search tirelessly in coin shops, estate sales, and even forgotten jars of change. The thrill is in the hunt, and the 1966 no-mint mark Roosevelt Dime represents the ultimate reward for those who pay attention to the details. Beyond the personal thrill, there's the undeniable financial aspect. As collectors worldwide have recognized the rarity of these dimes, the market for them has grown dramatically. Prices for well-preserved specimens have skyrocketed over the past few decades. What was once considered loose change is now treated as a serious investment. Experts predict that as fewer pristine coins survive, their value will continue to rise, creating an environment where today's ordinary dime could become tomorrow's six-figure treasure. And unlike volatile stocks or speculative assets, coins carry tangible historical and cultural value, something real you can hold in your hand, something with a story that can be passed down for generations. Interestingly, the 1966 Roosevelt Dime appeals not only to coin collectors but also to those who are fascinated by history. Its design honors a president whose leadership and vision shaped a nation during some of its most challenging years. The coin's imagery, the profile of Roosevelt, serves as a constant reminder of resilience, public service, and the enduring influence of one man on the fabric of American life. In many ways, this small coin bridges past and present. It connects us to a pivotal era, reminding us that the things we hold in our hands can carry far more than monetary value. They carry meaning. For viewers aged 35 to 65 plus, there's also a powerful element of nostalgia. Perhaps you remember using dimes in vending machines, saving them in piggy banks, or exchanging them for candy as a child. Maybe you held a Roosevelt dime while listening to the news in 1966, unaware that it would one day become a rare collector's item. That sense of personal history enhances the coin's appeal. It's no longer just currency, it's a memory, a relic of your own life intersecting with the history of a nation. And it's that emotional connection that makes the coin so compelling. Of course, discovering such a coin in today's world requires both knowledge and vigilance. Not every 1966 dime without a mint mark will fetch a high price. Factors like wear, scratches, and corrosion can significantly reduce a coin's value. But for those who understand the nuances of coin grading and preservation, finding a truly uncirculated, high-grade specimen is like uncovering buried treasure. Professional grading services provide an additional layer of assurance, certifying the coin's authenticity and condition. With a certified 1966 no-mint mark Roosevelt dime in hand, a collector has a guaranteed piece of history, something that has survived the trials of time and now carries both emotional and financial weight. The story of the 1966 Roosevelt dime also serves as a lesson in patience and foresight. Many collectors who purchased coins decades ago did so without knowing they would become valuable. They simply appreciated the coins for their beauty, history, and connection to the past. Over time, as the rarity of preserved coins became apparent and the market recognized their true worth, those patient collectors were rewarded handsomely. Today, the same opportunity exists for anyone willing to educate themselves, search carefully, and preserve their finds. This is a coin that teaches us about the rewards of patience, careful observation, and respect for history. That it's also worth noting that coins like this have a story that extends beyond individual collectors. They remind us of how interconnected our world is. A coin minted in Philadelphia travels across the country, touching countless lives, changing hands in small transactions, until it is finally recognized for its rarity. Each exchange, each moment of use, adds layers to its story. By the time it reaches a serious collector, it has become more than a dime. It's a chronicle of American life across decades, a silent witness to history, and a symbol of the hidden value that can exist in everyday objects. And now, after decades of quiet survival, after stories of loss and discovery, after careful preservation and expert validation, the ultimate truth emerges. A 1966 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, preserved in near-perfect condition, has reached a point where its rarity, historical significance, and pristine state combine to create astonishing value. For those who have patiently watched, researched, and sought out these coins, the payoff is incredible. What was once loose change, a dime tossed into a drawer or a pocket, is now recognized as a rare treasure of American numismatics. And here's the moment that brings the entire story together: a certified, pristine 1966 Roosevelt One Dime with no mint mark can command an extraordinary price, up to $90,000. From an ordinary coin you could find in circulation to a six-figure collectible, this dime represents the pinnacle of what careful collecting, patience, and knowledge can achieve. It's more than money, it's a tangible connection to history, a testament to the power of preservation, and a reminder that extraordinary things can hide in the most ordinary places. So, the next time you find a Roosevelt dime in your change, pause for a moment. Look closely. Feel its weight, its edges, and its history. Among the millions, there could be one that carries the potential to change your understanding of value entirely. This isn't just a coin. It's a story, a treasure, and a lesson wrapped into 10 cents. And in the rarest cases, it's a $90,000 treasure waiting to be discovered.